decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradise. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradise. Watching it go, buying low, selling high.
What's going on, crypto people? Sorry for the little technical hiccups there. Had a failure at launch on the first try. We got it up and we got it running. I'm Web3 Nate here with the Crypto Hitman. What's going on to this week, man? How we doing?
A lot of uncertainty in the markets, ups, downs, left and rights. And I know we're going to talk about the CPI data that just got released and how it's impacted the markets. And while we're live, well, actually 3 minutes ago, the stock market just opened. So we'll see how they're acting as well. I'm assuming down. The futures were saying down due to the CPI data. So I don't know what you want to start with, but let's dive right into the markets here.
Well, starting out, we usually like to take a look at the overall kind of top contenders in the market here. Bitcoin hanging around $95,000. I think it ranged all the way down to 94 when the CPI news came out. Pretty quick bounce back up. I think, you know, the wicks like we saw, what was it, a week ago, where, you know, well, all the way where, you know, we get these violent wicks down all the way, you know, $10,000 candles. You know, once that leverage is washed out, the market's a little harder to move that hard, that fast. You don't typically see those things, you know, in periods relatively close together. Also, I think, you know, some people probably expected this to come in a little hot on CPI here, but overall, Bitcoin still in the range between 106 and about 89 there, 106, 108 in there. Showing some signs of weakness, though. I don't know. What do you think? Are we putting in a new higher low in here, getting ready to start climbing back up towards the top of that range, or do the
well, ideally that would be the scenario. You know, Todd Butterfield has the technometer and his wipe off indicators, and they're getting pretty oversold on that last sell-off that we had. So if we have any further weakness today, I'm sure that the smart move would be putting in some buy. If you have capital, if you're looking to buy a dip somewhere, the smart move is probably put a buy order above your head. Maybe, you know, 96,500, and then you can look at BNB and Solana and ETH and whatever alts you're trying to buy, put some over your head. So just in case this thing finds a bottom and we explode, because historically alt season is right around the corner. Ethereum upgrades are coming, historical trends, Bitcoin historical trends should have another big rally by the end of this year. I'm saying 244,000 by the end of the year. So you don't want to get cute and miss an entry because you're looking for another 1,000 or 5,000 or even $10,000 lower. So if we have another weakness, I'd put something over your head on your favorite positions, and then you can look to try to pick a low and see if you can get lucky trying to catch the knives. But I don't think sitting on your hands and being too lazy to even put an overhead limit order above you is the right move, because when things reverse, they can get volatile, happen quickly. And also when they reverse, you're like, oh, I'll just wait. It's going to come back down, and then I'll be able to buy it. And then before you know it, it just keeps creeping up day after day, and you never actually get your entry.
It always comes back down, except for that one time it doesn't.
Right. The one time you have all that cash and you're so sure it doesn't come back down. You're chasing Bitcoin at 120,000 on the way to 244 versus getting in somewhere in the 90s.
Absolutely. Sorry, I thought I had our chart up here. I was on the wrong screen though. Should be able to see now. Yeah, speaking of, if you are looking for a new account to trade with, a new account to put some longs, some shorts, whatever type of trading you prefer to do. Obviously, no financial advice here, but the Bybit is the place to do it. Bybit's the biggest channel sponsor here at Crypto Paradise. Big shout out to them. We've got a link in our Twitter page. You can find it X Crypto Paradise right here. Bybit
Too many
link.
milkshakes. The sugar's killing your brain.
My brain. Yeah, got a little brain freeze going on here. Yeah, Bybit, up to $30,000 bonus when you sign up with our code right there on the homepage for Crypto Paradise Twitter. Get in there. It's one of the easiest to use UX and UIs in the space. I've tried just about all of the major centralized exchange platforms out there. And I got to say, unbiasedly, even, if they weren't sponsoring us, it'd definitely still be the one that I use most often. Not that I recommend or I have used in the past. I can't use it now because I'm an American citizen, of course. But,
of course. American citizens, all we use is Coinbase, nothing else. I don't even know what a MetaMask is.
That's right. Anyways, shout out Bybit. Thanks for the sponsorship. Love you guys. And you guys help make all of this a possibility. So if you guys want to get the $30,000 bonus, it also helps out the channel. We appreciate it if you use that link there. But anyways, Ethereum's been getting some love on crypto Twitter recently. What are your thoughts on Ethereum right now? Ethereum in the last week here, continuing to not do a whole lot. Why are we hearing so much noise on crypto Twitter about Ethereum?
Ethereum is just not separating itself. Still currently even really underperforming Bitcoin if you look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. But Ethereum is starting to get some love because historically, like I said, we are right on the cusp of a major alt season. For that to happen, normally Ethereum has to have some positive price action. Also, we are seeing Vitalik and the foundation trying to reorganize, if you will, to try to get some momentum back for Ethereum. And then lastly, they're talking a lot about a new upgrade. Historically, for those of you who've been here in 2017 and 2019, 2020, running into these upgrades, usually there's some speculation and FOMO hype into it, and then they release the upgrade. Now, in the past, the upgrade hasn't always gone off perfectly, so you do see a dip, but eventually the upgrade does go online, and that's when Ethereum season begins. So I'd expect to see some momentum coming into Ethereum as more news happens around this upgrade. Now, this time they are doing it a little different. They're putting it on one version of the testnet, then a second version of the testnet, then mainnet. So hopefully they go on testnet 1 sometime in February. We get some hype around that. It looks pretty good. Then they go testnet 2 early March, get more hype, more momentum. It's looking good. And then by the end of March, end of Q1, we have Ethereum mainnet upgrade, which spurs that alt season and Ethereum price performance. Maybe this is the type of upgrade that makes more sense for the fundamentalists of the traditional markets, and they start buying more of that Ethereum ETF. And really, like World Liberty Finances, they're loading up on Ethereum as well. They have a bigger Ethereum holding than they do in Bitcoin when you look at dollar value. So I think that's why people are starting to get the hype. Some of the OGs are talking about it because we saw it, like I said, previous cycles, and that's really kind of what helped kick off momentum for Ethereum. And people are like, well, why does Ethereum matter for the alt season? We've talked about it a lot. 90%, maybe not 90% anymore because Solana by number has a bunch of junk meme coins worth zero, but a large portion of the major liquidity of altcoins is on Ethereum itself or EVM compatible chains, which most of the time in some form, way, or shape do pay homage via liquidity or Ethereum holdings or fees. So that is why Ethereum is king and why it's key for the altcoin season. Talking about that, BNB has shown strength because CZ is talking about BSC. They're trying to do their own pump fund. So out of the large cap kind of layer ones, layer twos, BNB has been the one that has been showing strength. The Jeets are kind of killing Solana over there. Yes, it's going to go up because the fees of pump fund still exist. Ethereum is lagging because of fees and just lack of excitement and soy boys over there. But BNB is the one lately, even with the market downturn, that's shown some strength.
Yeah, and something else to keep in mind with Ethereum is that this market is still highly, highly narrative driven. Seeing Ethereum pump starts to push the narrative of alt seasons, and people will start to FOMO into all of their favorite alts. People will start to participating in IDOs again. Pre-sales will start kicking off, and it kind of creates this self-sustaining feeding cycle that everybody is going to start wanting to get a piece of the altcoin action. Up there, everybody's going to be screaming, alt season's here finally, alt season's here finally. Money is going to come rushing in. And we're going to see things continue to just, blast off. So that is another big factor with Ethereum outside of the liquidity. It's simply the narrative aspect of it, because traditionally Ethereum has always been the leader into that alt season, and we haven't seen that yet. So everybody's kind of been sit on their hands. I mean, we've seen some mini bull runs in different sectors that got hot. We've seen AI run. We've seen the agentic, the AI, agent type stuff. We've saw a little bit of an RWA play early in 2024. There was a little RWA season. There was a BRC20 season, and memes have obviously been dispersed throughout with their own subcultures, whether that be, it's cat season, it's dog season, it's hat season, it's fucking whatever. But we've seen these like mini bull runs throughout this entire cycle here. I personally, it's not my style. I'm not out there chasing all of these little pumps. I found a few narratives that, like we've talked about many times, AI in particular, that I keep a closer eye on, and try to, stay focused on one or two core areas. I'm still waiting for gaming to kick off. I've got my plays ready for that. But anyways, Ethereum could be the signal for the overall alt season, the real, second half of this bull run to start kicking off. So much as I am not a fanboy of Ethereum, we say the buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, no one's even buying the rumor right now because everybody thinks Ethereum is shit. So they're going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. I think a lot of people have been very disappointed in the previous updates. I mean, we've heard tons of hype, since the last cycle and a half here now, about these new upgrades, and each time they've been a dud. They haven't fixed the gas issues and network congestion issues that drive these super, super high prices we've been promised a lot before, and they haven't delivered. Will they deliver this time, though? And if they do, I mean, what could we be looking at if they actually deliver and we start seeing Ethereum operate the way that they talk about it being able to operate and being the true, world computer?
Yeah, and Ethereum, there's been no sustainability in all these alt cycles because Ethereum just can't find a footing. And everybody nowadays, like, look, 2017, there was less tokens, but people were more diamond-handed. They believed in something. 2020, 2021, they believed in something. Now, a lot of it was vaporware and hasn't, propagated in anything, but there is a lot of strives towards new things, DeFi, new layer ones, new utilizations. Like, this stuff didn't exist. This tooling didn't exist. In 2016, 2017, when I was in this, it was all junk UI, UXs. You had to download files to your computer or you were using Coinbase. Like, there has been tons of advancements, whether people want to talk about it or not. And I know people shit on it as a joke, like, oh my God, the fairy tale. But now everybody is just Jeet City. Everybody has PTSD and they're just like, oh my God, I'm getting in this. I'm up 50%. I double my money. I'm out. Like, nobody believes in anything. That's why there's just sprinkles of alt season, sprinkles of home runs. Well, I'll tell you what, yes, it is harder to find the big assets that win, but you're never going to get a 50x, 100x, 1000x if you can't hold more than a 2x. You just won't get it. And I know some people be like, well, I'm just stacking my winners. That's like picking pennies up in front of a freight train. I guess if you do it over and over, it works out. But if you miss on one, you are right back to where you started, because that's what the math is. So for Ethereum, I think nobody gets excited until it gets back above 3,100 and holds above 3,100. That kind of gets you back above all of this support that has now flipped resistance after this drop. We need to get up there, hold it, and then find some momentum. Nobody even gets excited or even has, like, hope for Ethereum until it gets above 3,100. Then the smart traders will start adding on, and then you start to get the momentum and the ball rolling. And really, we need to see new all-time highs. We need to see 5,000 ETH for the real explosive alt seasons that we're used to, for the real euphoria and FOMO for institutions into the ETH ETF. And we're going to see tweets. We're going to see tweets of, oh, wow, Ethereum ETF got 400 million of inflows, and the BTC ETF only had 100 million. That's when you're in alt season, when the Ethereum ETF is getting more inflows than Bitcoin is, and you're going to see those tweets. Now, when? I don't know. But it's going to happen. It's going to come. As long as Ethereum, Vitalik, please ditch the girl. Stop drinking soy milk. Switch to almond milk. Do whatever you got to do. Stop selling foundation tokens. It's not that hard. I saw Richard Hart even trolling Vitalik in a nice, positive way. Like, Vitalik, just do these 10 things, please. Justin Sun, just do these 10 things, please. Like, everybody's trying to help Ethereum because they know Ethereum is still the indice for altcoins, which affects their networks, which affects Tron, which affects Pulse Chain, which affects BNB, and everybody out here who holds and believes in the future of cryptocurrencies and digital assets.
Well, let's take a look. You brought up Pulse Chain. Here we go. Oh, wait, that's Pulse X.
That's Pulse X. Go to GoPulse.com.
GoPulse.com. All right.
GoPulse.
GoPulse.
No, Go Pulse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Pulse Chain's gatekept on CoinGecko. You saw that. There's very few coins that are actually on CoinGecko off Pulse Chain. One, it happens to be The only one that we talked about here, PTGC, we talked about it at 2.5 million. It's now worth 350 million in the top 200. So somehow they got on CoinGecko, but CoinGecko does not list these yet, probably until the SEC case is over for whatever reason. But Pulse Chain off the lows, doing its thing. The altcoins on Pulse Chain is what is really thriving and succeeding. So you can see here, Pulse Chain putting in higher lows off the recent lows, but still a dismal start and launch for Pulse Chain. Yet somehow these altcoins have figured out a way to find success over there. And that's because they're bringing back utility, they're bringing back fundamentals, and they're using Hart's Law and liquidity bonding to really provide value to their holders. They're incentivizing holders to actually hold. It feels like you're going back in a time capsule to 2017 when people actually believed in something, held their assets for the APY, only sold the APY to live off of, and they're holding their underlying, and many of them are even compounding.
Yeah, I think that's something that's unique with this system here is, from the lows, it's only up, 2x, or 200%. People have got a little 3x there, but people are making money by holding. Like they're not just making money from the chart appreciating. They're getting all these other ecosystem tokens, which is something.
Go back to CoinGecko and then type in PTGC. That one's on there.
PTGC. The gray's currency?
Yep. And you can hit max on that chart.
Yeah. That one's a little different. Zoom that out on the daily here. Yeah, that one's a little
Now, how does that happen? You only get up and to the right if the holders hold.
Only about
if there is
410
fundamentals, if there's 4 fundamentals behind it, and the fundamentals are built into the system. Yes, there is token taxes, but the token taxes are automatically going and buying burning token, adding to the LP. So if people want to dump, there's a thicker LP, less impact. Holders get a percentage of the token sent directly to their wallet for holding, staking, or locking. And then a percentage goes to the DAO, which means you as a community member, based on your token weighting, get to vote what you want to do with the tokens. Do you burn more? Do you add to LP? Do you do marketing? It seems simple. This is what we've gotten away from, though. This is the token structure that really worked. This is what sent PancakeSwap from non-existence to $45 in the matter of a couple months. This is what sent BNB from $9 to $650 when BSC launched. These type of token economics, and this is why BNB is still relevant today and still pushing. They have similar token economics built into the system based on Binance revenue, BSC fees, et cetera, et cetera. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. We need to get back to the sentiment of diamond hands, believing in something. If you pick the right horse and you hodl, the chart will go up and you will make much more money.
Well, we got to get back to believing in and trusting in Nostradamus. I mean, you were calling this back when? Shit,
like 2 million.
2020. You're back in what? 2024?
Yeah, like probably 18 months ago.
Market cap, you said back at 2 million, which I don't even know if I can find that on this chart. There we go.
And what's crazy is when I bought that was the local top. That looked like, oh my God, Nick, you said buy at 2.4 and it dropped to 2 million. Holy cow. It's like now you look at that chart and it's like you can't even find where that is.
Yeah.
The top that keeps on topping.
Somewhere
down there.
2.6. That's good enough. All right, so nice little 146x
with 56% APR. That's deflationary,
right?
Because why? Because it's coming from token taxes. It's not coming from supply that's sitting on the sidelines.
So with this ecosystem, I know they're launching some new. We've got the Pulse. There's PT. Are there any other tokens coming out in this ecosystem right now that people can take a look at? Obviously, people are going to instantly say, "Oh, all right, well, I missed this one already," right?
I think if you say you missed that, you're being silly because you don't understand the token economics yet. Maybe we need to do more videos. But if you want something similar that is launched by the same exact deployer, then there's one called UFO, and I think UFO might also somehow happen to be on CoinGecko, and
it should be on here. This is their version of Dex tools, so it should be in here.
I think this one's more around 60 million market cap. So if you think that one's too high at 350, well, let's look at the UFO 92. Chart. Oh, does that look similar to PTGC? Looks pretty similar. A lot of up and to the right. So, is that have enough upside to you. That's what, 60 million market cap, 90. What is it? Fully diluted, 98 million. Wow, that's up higher than I thought.
Jumped up a bit.
So, and if you think you missed that, then there's other assets within that ecosystem we talked about. Alien and
it's the
Enki.
ecosystem. That's what's important. All of these tokens that are launching on Pulse Chain are using the same fundamental principles for their tokenomics, and that's part of what is driving all of these charts to just boom. It's amazing though. I gotta say, the last couple of weeks, we've got an announcement that's coming up this will make a little more sense here in a couple days probably. But we at Crypto Paradise have been looking into the Pulse Chain ecosystem a lot more recently, and the more obviously, Nick, you've been neck deep in it for a year and a half, 2 years now. But foolishly, Amaro and myself haven't listened to you, unfortunately. But the more we're looking at this, like every project that launches it has a similar chart like this. They're not all 100 million, but they all start at a fair launch essentially, and just continue to grind up and grind up and grind up due to the way the tokenomics are set up, and due to the the overall ecosystem in the community. The thing that I'm starting to really just be like baffled by is, how has this ecosystem not gotten more love? How is it not getting more attention? I know, Mr. Hart is a bit of an enigmatic figure, draws some ire in a lot of circles, but at the end of the day, this industry, everybody here is an absolute mercenary when it comes to making profits. Like, this should be front page headlines all across crypto Twitter with charts like this, and it's project to project to project. Like, I don't see anybody in call groups calling the next Pulse Chain banger. It's all Sol or Base or Sui or whatever Barra chain or whatever the hell the next bullshit L1 that's launching is. Why is Pulse Chain not getting any love?
Well, I think there's a couple of things to touch on that. Number one, I think we also did a poll in a group of 120 individuals. Something like 65 or 70% of people in that group who are OGs, whales, savants of crypto, 65% or 70% of them have never done a single transaction on Pulse Chain, even though it's EVM compatible.
Guilty.
And Nate's one of them, and I've been on the show telling Nate to do it. So, that is one thing. What's the reason for that? I don't know. You get comfortable in where you're at. I even do that as well. Number two, it's not even on CoinGecko yet. So, I think a lot of places, all centralized exchanges are not going to support Pulse Chain or any other blue chips until the SEC case is resolved. So I think the SEC case getting resolved does open up some levers and allows centralized exchanges to have a regulatory framework to go and list those tokens. Number two, a lot of the big KOLs didn't participate in sacrifice phase. Or they're kind of like mainstream media and I heard he's a scammer, I'm not looking at that. And a lot of KOLs only promote things when they are to benefit from them. So if don't have a bag yet, what are they going to talk about? They have big bags of Ethereum. So they're looking for Ethereum gems because it's easy liquidity swaps.
They're trying to pump their own bags.
Exactly. They have BNB, so it's easy for them to swap. They have Solana positions, it's easy for them to swap. But then I think lastly, what is very important to remember is there's big cabals behind the scene of crypto that drive the narrative. Because Pulse Chain isn't the only crypto or network that this has happened to. Cardano and ADA still isn't really talked about. Now, Cardano is kind of a ghost chain. And people are like, what do you mean, Nick? Pulse Chain, nobody knows about it. 70% of people haven't used it in an OG whale group. Pulse Chain has more volume than Cardano on a daily basis, if you can believe that or not. But still, Cardano, Charles Hoskinson helped launch Ethereum, launched Ethereum Classic, has Cardano, has the IOHK development suite, is a U.S. citizen. And Cardano never really gets love. Cointelegraph doesn't talk about Cardano. It's who's behind the scene funding the narrative into the market. What benefits them? That's still on a big scale what it is. So can Pulse Chain ever get enough love? Hopefully it can get enough love, because I don't need to see massive gains. If the blue chips do a 5 or a 10x, most people on Pulse Chain will think that is an epic failure. If Ethereum does a 5x, most people right now will be dancing in their house naked if Ethereum would go up to 12,500 right now. With the way the tokenomics are set up, if any of the blue chips do a 5x on Pulse Chain, assets like PTGC are poised to do 20x's, 50x's, and 100x's due to the buyback and burn token economics. So can the SEC arrest Richard Hart and throw him in jail and Pulse Chain dumps out and Nick, you're fucking wrong? Maybe. But I'm taking the bet that that isn't going to be the case. He has the same lawyers as Elon Musk and the Trump family. So I am saying, I'm using my giga brain here, billionaire with the same lawyer as Elon Musk and Trump family beats SEC, pulls chain moons, and we all make filthy gains. And we'll be early to the network. And now this isn't just the first time on that.
How are they going to go after a guy who's built like legit tech and an actual blockchain, crypto, Web3 business when Trump just launched?
Well, nowadays you're not supposed to launch a meme coin.
Like I don't
CZ's
see how.
out free. I love CZ because CZ made me a lot of money. CZ follows me. CZ went to jail for 6 months, and CZ owned a centralized exchange, which is one of the most gray area industries in the market, and he's out. And I love CZ because here's the thing. I was saying the same shit about BNB token when they launched the BSC network, and nobody showed it love. Nobody wanted to use BSC. BNB was $9, went from $9 to $6.50 in 6 months. Pancake Swap, oh no, that they can't get volume. Uniswap has all the volume. Pancake Swap went from $0 to $45 and is still one of the biggest volume generators in the entire ecosystem, but is the biggest volume generator on Binance Smart Chain. So do I strike gold again? Have I been wrong? Sure. But this one just logically makes sense to me. You look at that pulse chain chart. That is what? You're a 3x off the low, but if you look at that chart, that thing hasn't done anything. You would be buying at what could be generational lows if SEC approval gets removed, if Interpol gets removed, if Richard Hart does a live stream, those things explode. And the thing is,
I think it's all coming to fruition very quickly here.
Well, the thing is, you're like, why do all these things move up together? When they're all going up, they all go up. When they all go down, they go down. Because they're all liquidity bonded together. All of the liquidity Richard Hart has, he owns like 80% of all these tokens. He paired them all in liquidity pools all together. So if one goes up 20%, the other ones might go up 10, 15, 12%. So if he can get any of them to rally, they're all going to rally together. And everybody's going to win together. And there's no VC money to dump on you. There isn't Solana unlock. 100% of all the tokens and all these 4 assets, PLS, PLSX, they're all fully diluted supplies for those two. INC, the inflation rate is minimal. It's like 0.05 tokens per second. And then Hex, 95% of the Hex is locked up in staking. There is no supply. There is no new supply coming into the market. And that's why I think it's going to win. Sorry for my rant.
No,
it's just I've been telling people, and it's like I see some people in my group listened, and they made 150x, and then other people in my group are like, "Oh, stop talking about Pulse Chain and PTGC. It's a cult. That's all you talk about." Well, how am I not supposed to talk about it when I picked 4 coins to buy, and they're up somewhere between 800% to 10,000, 15,000%? I'm not supposed to talk about that. I'm trying to help you win, and I'm still telling you you're early to it. If I'm correct. Could I be wrong?
Yes,
sure.
Some people coping pretty hard in your group there.
It happened. You can't, I have some people in my group put in a couple thousand and they turn into hundreds of thousands, $millions, and some people who faded me when I said, but the thing is, it's, I'm not like some people where we give one buy. I give on here and I've given 12 official buys on the chart, 2 million, 2.4, 3 million, 30 million, 100 million, 150 million. Like I'm reiterating new buy opportunities when dips occur. And if you don't want to pull the trigger on that, I can't help you out. But don't take it out on me or Nate or Ian or anybody else. All we can do is give you the information. If you want to use it, great. But at the end of the day, whether we're right or wrong, you hit the buy, you hit the sell, you make your own decisions.
Not financial advice. Neither of us are financial advisors, and we are most certainly not your financial advisor. This is educational, just trying to spread the good word of the crypto blessings to all across the lands here from around the world. In fact, we are pretty much on opposite sides of the world, so we got it all covered. Enzo to Enzo.
So what's the next topic? Yeah, XRP is trash. Next, what's the next topic?
Well, I don't got a ton of time. It's getting pretty late here, but that's something we definitely need to cover before we go today. Here is the CPI inflation coming in hot, and you can see a little fun illustration here.
Oh gosh.
I don't know if this chart's real or not, but
that's it's probably real, but that's like on the 10-second chart.
Yeah. we dropped up, a couple percentage point there, a couple bips. But some interesting things happening after that. Yes, the S&P took a little dump. As you can see, Bitcoin already back up above 95,000. Quick wick down to 94 and pumping back up. Now, a couple reasons for this. One, people just aren't too worried about it. Two, something that it is that has been at the forefront of all the conversations, that's been at the forefront of Donald Trump butting heads with Jay Powell, is Jay Powell's been saying that we need to stop or we need to slow interest rate cuts. And Donald Trump is saying, no, we need to crank up the interest rate cuts. Well, one of the reasons Jay Powell was saying they were going to be able to do that is because inflation's coming down. Well, a hot print like this puts the ball back in Trump's court and gives him credence in saying, I'm right, you're wrong. We need more cuts, and we need bigger cuts to bring this back in. And that's exactly what he did. Instantly after these numbers came out, he took to Twitter, interest rates should be lowered, which would go hand in hand with the upcoming tariffs. Let's rock and roll America. So you can imagine he is going to be pushing this even harder now. The pressure is on for Jay Powell. And let's see what happens here. We all know what happens when they start cutting interest rates crazily. There's lots of people charting some stuff in here around the CPI charts. You can see a lot of times there was a wick down, but some pretty nice pumps here afterward. What do you think? Are we in for some hype with this?
I think another thing that might have stunted the sell-off a little bit is they had a standalone meeting for Doge. So Trump and Elon's son was in the White House talking about it.
Yeah.
And there was a couple moments that stood out to me. And the one moment is, hey, we're in a $2 trillion deficit right now, the government. This year, if we do nothing, we're going to lose $2 trillion, not including interest and everything else. Elon says, if I can cut $1 trillion of spending, now we're only $1 trillion in debt, right? The goal is cut the spending, and by 2026, to have a break-even government spending. If you can give break-even by 2026, that means 0% inflation, and interest rates will be forced to come down because Powell says he wants 2% inflation. So I think people are looking into this and hoping and banking on, hey, regardless if Trump can bend Powell over right now and force him to do it, he might actually get his goals if Elon can cut enough of the government spending that it actually creates zero or near zero inflation just due to economy going up, spending going down. That's what causes inflation. It would be at net zero. And then Powell could say, okay, well, we're below 2%. So that's what I said. I'm going to start cutting rates. So I think people are saying, well, Trump's trying to bend him over. Elon's trying to algorithmically work to bend him over. And maybe one of them can win and make the rate cuts actually happen. And the American people win with either of those outcomes. They win with either of those outcomes, because if interest rates go down, that means your monthly debt payments go down. That means you can get lower mortgages, so your monthly payments lower. That means the credit cards will lower their rates. So all this credit card debt, we have the highest credit card debt in history right now. And the rates on it are like 20 to 29%. So if those rates can come down even 5%, your monthly payment goes down. Your student loan payments go down because those are federal loans. So those interest rates can auto adjust. So I think that's what people are hoping for. I'm rooting for it. I don't really care what's going on, whether Trump bends over Powell or whether Elon Musk does the work to get our spending down, which automatically brings down inflation, which then in turn reduces the rates. I think one of those two will happen, and maybe the market is seeing that way as well. Because normally when these CPIs are hot, it is much more red than it is today.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially with, it wasn't just red. I mean, this is the January's increase in inflation was the largest month over month in the entire last year. So, I'm also a bit surprised. I think potentially, at least in the crypto markets, Bitcoin and the alts are just still a bit shell shocked from, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago when we saw that, we saw Bitcoin do a 10K clip in about 10 hours and wipe out, we talked about it on last week, $6 to $8 billion in liquidations in a matter of like 12 hours. So, when we've had those kind of liquidations, it's hard to have that again, in such a quick succession.
Hasn't built up.
Yeah, it hasn't built up yet. So, but in terms of the traditional markets, I don't know. I don't follow as close there. But I don't know.
That's another thing, guys. Stop leverage trading to where you get leverage. You want the price to go up. Everybody start just buying spot. That's what drives price up. You leverage trading does not drive price up. And then when you get liquidated, it definitely doesn't drive price up. That goes to the overhead of the centralized exchanges and takes the money from the 100 people to the one winner of that trade. Go buy spot. Price go up and to right. It's not that hard. Not that hard.
All the big powers that be in the market have said it admitted it time and time again. They far and away make the largest margins on your liquidations on the
And they
leverage
have
trading.
overhead costs, which means those margins don't go back into the market. They go into the pocket of hires, people's salaries, whatever, paying mortgages, which is good grain in the other. But stop making it easy for them and get spot positions and hold it. Because that's the other thing. When ETFs first came out, there were Bitcoin futures, and people are like, oh my God, that's terrible because they don't actually own the Bitcoin. But I'm going to go leverage trade and not actually own the Bitcoin. We wanted Bitcoin ETFs where now BlackRock is holding spot Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is buying spot Bitcoin. Fidelity is buying spot Bitcoin. But you want to leverage trade and get liquidated because you're greedy. That's why the market isn't moving, folks. There's so many shiny objects. The money's getting spread out, and then you're getting liquidated. Holy cow, I took my account from 10,000 to 100,000. I'm going to start trading leverage, and it goes to zero.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole I think point there is that you can't get in that get rich quick mindset. If you're a person who's trained and proven yourself as a leverage trader, great, it's a different story. But if you made a few good spot trades and now you think you're gonna go play Wolf of Wall Street and crank up 100x leverage, you're gonna lose your ass.
If you're getting liquidated, you're not a pro. Like even the pros who trade leverage, very few of them, unless it's black swan events, are getting liquidated. They will lose trades, sure, but they're not leveraging their portfolio or putting so much of their portfolio in that they're going to zero. And when they do that in traditional markets, they find themselves on CNBC and on the headlines of all the newspapers.
And without a job. Well, I got to wrap it up. We've been going for about 40 minutes here, so not a too short a one. We'll be back again next Wednesday, another market update here. Crypto Hitman, thanks as always for joining me. I always have fantastic insights bringing the traditional markets and the Web3 markets together. I know we've covered Pulse Chain a couple times here, but it might be good to do, maybe if it's not a live stream, maybe we do a more detailed breakdown of, specifically how those ecosystems work. Maybe Crypto Paradise will be one of the first bigger KOLs that goes balls deep on Pulse Chains, and we can kind of maybe one of the flagship people out there ringing the bell for Pulse Chain and starting to maybe port some community over and teach them a bit about what's going on in that ecosystem.
Yeah, maybe. And, B-Root, shout out to him and Ian, those guys over there. They're kind of the biggest degens on the chain. And then you got a bunch of hexagons. But again, those are all smaller individual KOLs where if you're not in that ecosystem, you don't see them on your newsfeed for whatever reason. I think that you're going to see more and more names that you follow just talking about a play here and there on Pulse Chain or talking about Richard Hart. Once the SEC case is closed, which I think he will win. Hopefully that happens sooner than later. Also, we have the Coinbase earnings. Coinbase stock earnings is tomorrow. I think they beat their earnings. I want to find a way to get irrationally long on Coinbase, but it just hasn't given me the capitulation wick I want. I know their last quarter, their volume had to have been high. That's when meme season was still pumping. That's when they're pumping meme seasons. So I think they beat their earnings, and I want to get irrationally long on that. Hopefully we get some kind of entry and capitulation today for me to go long on Coinbase, COIN, in the stock market.
Heck yeah, man. One last thing here before we go. If you have not joined the Telegram mini app, we got to start doing all this stuff at the beginning of the episode. Making sure that everybody that tunes in, even if they tune in for a minute, catches the juiciest stuff. We and the Telegram mini app has some updates coming very soon. The devs are starting to work on Monday on some fun updates to the app. A lot of stuff coming in the pipeline over the next couple months with the mini app. But we're coming up very recently. Actually, we're live right now. We've got the Tordes airdrop, $25,000 airdrop going on there right now. We have a couple new partnerships we'll be announcing probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks here. More airdrops may be coming. If you're not a part of the mini app, you want to get in there. There's going to be a lot more stuff. Like we mentioned when we first launched this, we have over $100,000 in prizes lined up to give away over the next couple months. With that 100,000, you'll hear some announcements coming soon. That is very likely about to double in the next month or two here as we bring some new projects on board that we're partnering with and doing more and more airdrops. So if you're not a member of the Telegram mini app, it's free. Get in there. All you need to do, go in, play some games, engage with our partner projects, invite your friends to join the app as well. And you're going to earn Crypto Paradise tokens that you can then trade in for raffles. We do weekly raffles for everything from, we have meme coins in there we give away. We have stable coins we give away. We've given away DeFi projects, infrastructure L1, L2 tokens, gaming projects. And then we have the Crypto Paradise. Those are the weekly giveaways. I got the grand prize giveaway we're going to be giving away later on in the bull run. That's currently sitting a little over $40,000 in tokens in that wallet. Excuse me. And that's going to grow to well over 100 before we give it away. And we, with Tortoise here, we got our first airdrop, multiple more airdrops coming. Guys, we're giving away more cash in this mini app than anybody else in Web3 right now. Tokens you can get out there and sell and flip. A lot of these are tokens that are about to launch. So if they launch, markets are getting hot again, that could 2, 5, 10, 20x. And now your, $1,000 that you win in the airdrop is $10,000. It's a serious, real cash, guys. It's all free. All you need to do is go in, play games, share with your friends, follow and engage on social media. Super easy stuff, guys. It's a lot of fun in there. We're adding new features to make it even more fun and easier to use. And we've got a great Telegram community where all your questions can get answered, as well as you can come in and chat about all the latest projects that we're working with, how the market's doing. It's a good crypto community to get yourself involved in overall as well. So if you haven't joined the mini app yet, you can find in the pinned message here all the information you need about the airdrop, how to join the mini app. All the links are in there as well. Go check it out on the homepage there, or the X page there. But that's all I got for today.
Yeah, like I said, if you missed it, if we get more red here, I would start putting overhead buys in just in case you don't actually pick the low. Don't get caught sitting on your hands too long, because when things reverse here, I think they're going to reverse quickly, and you're going to be trying to play catch up. And mentally, most people don't actually buy during the catch up because then they think they're going to get another drop, and it just never happens.
Words of wisdom. Don't fade the man. He'll be coping. Doesn't get them all right, but he gets a hell of a lot of them right. All right.
The name of the game is just winning more than you lose, and you'll find yourself on the beach with us one day.
That's right. We talked about that yesterday on the TA Tuesday. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you next time. And until then, I'll see you on the beach.
No more